Hi, I'm Ben Murdoch, the songwriter coach, and today is the start of the 14-day challenge, this isolation challenge while we're all stuck indoors trying to stay creative. I hope you're all staying safe, and let's jump into today's challenge. So today is all about finding inspiration in places outside of yourself. So it's not looking at autobiographical stuff and things that come from the heart. It literally is trying to find inspiration in other places. So with that, we think fiction, and when we think fiction, we think books and films, and these are a great starting point. So today you could write some lyrics based on a favourite film or a favourite book which has really inspired you. But these aren't the only places you can look. You can think of poems and use those. You could use photographs or paintings. Any of these are valid inspirational areas. It could also be conversations you've overheard or things you've seen happening out and about, although we're not out and about very much at the moment, but something maybe you've seen on the television though. If you want a bit more background to this though, there is a 6-minute video here which you can check out, which will give you a little bit more information about how this technique works. Okay, so now you need to choose something. It could be a film, a book, a poem, photo, painting, something you saw or overheard, any of those things. If you can't think of anything, this is a time where you can use Google to find an image or a painting related to something you might want to write about. So you could type in something like saying goodbye at a train station or a deserted French cafe. There's got to be plenty of those about. Although probably not people taking photos of them. So if you want further ideas, then head to my website as well and go to the 14-day challenge tab, and underneath there there'll be resources and a few ideas for this challenge to get you started. Okay, so now you've chosen something that you're inspired by. Answer the following questions before moving on about the thing that's inspired you. So question 1, what happens in the story? Now, this is easy if it's a film or a book because it's got the story laid out for you. But if it's a photo or a painting, then you're going to need to make up a story from what you think might be going on. Now, that sounds complicated, but it's actually good fun just on its own as an exercise, as a challenge of its own, finding a picture and making up the story. So if you're choosing to use a picture or a painting, it's a really good exercise just in itself. So question 2, why is it important to me? i.e., this is the core bit of what's inspired you in the first place. It's the key part of the story. So it's the most important bit. Now the third question is, who are the characters, if there are characters? What's the setting and when did this happen? So I know it's a few questions in one, and the final one, question 4, what other key pieces of information might colour this thing that you're writing about, the sights, the sounds, the smells, the feelings that are going on there? So little tidbits of information that might be really, really useful for giving some light and shade and some colour, if you like, to the lyrics. Okay, so now time for a bit of structure. So for question 1, you wrote what happens in the story. So now we're going to chunk that down to a beginning, middle and an end. So if you can do that, that's the next task. And from this, you'll be able to ensure that your verses build on what's already happened and they don't get stuck or they don't get samey. Your plot moves on each time. So for instance, as an example, say I based my song on Titanic, the movie Titanic. I might have the beginning as how the main characters got their places on the ship, all the excitement of being part of an amazing time in history. The middle might be the blooming relationship of Jack and Rose in spite of their obvious differences, and that Jack really has nothing of substance, no money and those sorts of things to offer Rose compared to the rich and sophisticated Cal. Except, of course, crucially, love and passion. That's what Jack offers. And it turns out Rose values that more than all the money in the world. Now the ending, well, we all know how the story ends. You could concentrate on the utter carnage of the ship sinking and lots of stories weaving through, or just the story of Jack and Rose. I might link back to the first verse's feeling of being in this amazing time in history, though now for devastatingly sad reasons as the ship begins to sink. Now in question 2, you wrote what the most important part of the story was. And this is going to be your chorus, and in it I'd like you to use what will become the song's title, either in the first or the last line. And if you're doing a 6-line chorus, then maybe it could be a middle line instead, but first or last would be good. Now I know that all sounds a bit prescriptive, but this is a challenge, so I'm putting a few rules and regulations in just to see how we get on. Now, for the most important moment in Titanic, in the example I'm using, I might choose the drawing Jack did of Rose, as it was when she sort of showed herself her most vulnerable, and showed her also her obvious disdain for the class issue. Or perhaps when Jack ensured that Rose survived by sacrificing himself. It's really whatever moves you. Now, the answers from questions 3 and 4 add those details, that depth and colour. So use those to really flesh out the song with those bits of information, sensory information. So now we've got a story with a structure, a rough idea for what the chorus will be, which will give us also the song title. And we also have some flavour and some characters, so probably some sounds and smells and sights, those little things which build the experience for the listener. So now we need to get writing. Good luck to you all, and feel free to post some of your examples of your lyrics below in the discussion in the section below. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you know when new videos are being released across these 14 days and beyond. I'd also love to hear from you, so any of you want to leave comments, then please do so below. I will read them and try and reply to everybody, of course. So, but main thing is, more important than anything else, everybody stay safe, stay in, and try and get some physical exercise, try and enjoy yourselves, and I will see you tomorrow for day 2.